Hi, in this video I will talk about some great RPG games that were released in the past decade. The first one is Greedfall. It's a role-playing game set in a fantasy world in the style of the 17th century. The plot revolves around a mysterious disease that is claiming lives worldwide, but the inhabitants of one island are immune to it. Playing as an envoy, the main character will journey to this enigmatic place and embark on adventures. We will have to look at what's happening on the island from different perspectives, assist various factions, and make political decisions that will alter the course of events. Diplomacy plays a crucial role in gameplay, but battles with monsters, character development, and other elements are also engagingly executed. The Banner Saga series. This is a trilogy of tactical RPGs that combine interactive storytelling, picturesque graphics, and enjoyable gameplay. A special feature here is the interesting plot, executed in the best traditions of dark fantasy. The action takes place in a world based on Norse mythology, where humans and giants unite against a common enemy. We will manage two caravans trying to cross the war-torn continent. Battles in the game are turn-based, and the interactive story, filled with quest content, changes depending on the decisions you make. Kingdoms of Amalur. This game was supposed to be an MMORPG, but it turned out to be a single-player action RPG set in a fantasy world. However, remnants of MMO plans can be seen in some mechanics. The game's setting is rich in various races and religions. Combat is action-oriented and allows for the use of multiple types of weapons, fighting styles, and classes. As you progress, much will depend on the decisions you make. Dragon's Dogma: Dark Arisen, an action RPG with an open world. Japanese developers have succeeded in creating a spectacular RPG in the Western style. Battles here are characterized by brutality and bloodshed, with a huge variety of monsters including giant cyclops, ogres, harpies, dragons, multi-headed hydras, and many others. It's also worth mentioning the very detailed character editor. The game features 10 character classes ranging from archers to mages. Moreover, the protagonist belonging to a particular specialization is not set in stone, and for example, knights can successfully use spells. Additionally, class affiliation can be changed during gameplay. Shadowrun Hong Kong, another tactical RPG set in the universe of the tabletop game of the same name, combining cyberpunk and fantasy elements. Here, magic and technology coexist, and in addition to humans, there are orcs, gnomes, and other creatures who get along quite well. We will play as a freelance killer investigating the death of a friend. Skyrim. Bethesda has released one of the best games ever made. Skyrim can captivate for a long time thanks to all its merits, including a huge open world to explore, various guilds to join, a deep leveling system, and much more. This cult RPG delights with its diverse content, quality storyline, unique characters, freedom of action, and numerous captivating quests. Persona 5. Another Persona has become a real gift for fans of Japanese role-playing games. It's hard to call it innovative. The fifth installment successfully continues to use mechanics introduced as far back as the third, but each of them is supplemented and polished to a shine. Playing as a teenage outsider, we will deal with a heap of typical school problems while simultaneously getting acquainted with interesting characters. And from time to time, the hero has to invade another world to fight demons. Undertale, a small game with big ambitions. The game manages to blend JRPG and shoot-'em-up mechanics in battle scenes. The developer broke stereotypes by allowing NPCs to remember the player's previous playthroughs and introducing bosses capable of deliberately initiating the game's cessation. The game also offers to look at battles from a different angle and ask yourself a question. What if you don't kill all the monsters along the way, but try to befriend them? Pillars of Eternity. both parts of this series are very appealing and intriguing. It's a true role-playing adventure with stunning graphics, choices impacting the storyline, intricately crafted plot, deep leveling system, vast array of spells and weapons. Here, we'll be managing a group of heroes, reading a lot of text, exploring the world, and spending a lot of time in turn-based battles. Elex, this RPG series, features a futuristic setting combined with medieval elements. Therefore, in addition to magic and melee weapons, the main character also utilizes advanced technology, blasters, and a jetpack. Otherwise, it's business as usual, exploring a lively open world, sorting out relationships between factions, and trying to raise the hero's reputation. Gameplay focuses on interacting with diverse NPCs, intense battles, and other activities capable of captivating for a long time. Deus Ex, a cyberpunk-themed role-playing action game with stealth elements. Although this was already the third installment in the series, it served as a reboot and a sort of reinterpretation. The game offered extensive skill progression, advanced combat system, and an unforgettable atmosphere. The sequel, Mankind Divided, largely surpassed the original Human Revolution and offered a journey into true cyberpunk with all its problems. Mass social inequality, corporate power over states, hatred and simultaneous love for cyber implants, everything a fan of the setting appreciates. Cyberpunk 2077, almost every gamer followed the news about one of the most anticipated cyberpunk RPGs. Cyberpunk 2077. It's a beautiful and highly immersive RPG. The views of the futuristic city with neon signs and holographic advertising can't leave anyone indifferent. The game features an interesting non-linear plot, a realistic and gritty world for adult audiences, deep role-playing mechanics, a huge arsenal of cybernetic implants and various weapons, all of which are modifiable. Additionally, the game offers a choice of various character classes with a character editor. Each character class will offer a different gameplay experience. Kingdom Come Deliverance, a role-playing game set in a medieval setting without unicorns and magic, but with realistic sword fighting, the protagonist's actions influencing events, a meticulously crafted world, and a charming atmosphere. There are no heroes and villains in the game. All actions are limited only by your morality. Also, the game features a hybrid class system. You can create any warrior depending on your preferences, like a knight archer. Moreover, the game introduces a unique combat mechanic based on the techniques of 15th century warriors. It takes some getting used to this style of combat, and at the beginning of the game, even a regular opponent can give you a hard time. Mount and Blade 2, a low-budget action RPG, practically an indie simulator of a medieval warrior who rises to the heights of glory, wealth, and power through a sharp sword, skill leveling, and forming a personal army. The gameplay of the series is so unique and interesting that the game quickly gained the status of a phenomenon and acquired hundreds of thousands of fervent fans. Bannerlord has preserved the traditions of the series, but has introduced even more opportunities, making the game a crazy medieval attraction. Revenant Kingdom, this open-world RPG, tells the adventures of children endowed with magical gifts. The game focuses on the young king's attempts to reclaim the throne unjustly taken from him by villains. In battles, our heroes rely on both powerful magic and physical strength, the abilities of companions, and tamed familiars. In addition to main storyline quests, there are plenty of interesting side quests and activities, such as building a new kingdom. Baldur's Gate 3, the continuation of the undeniably iconic series. Traditionally, the game offers a wide selection of races and classes, an intricately woven storyline, branching paths, and rich combat mechanics. Returning to the Forgotten Realms, you'll assemble a party of heroes and embark on an adventure filled with amazing events and battles. Recently emerging from early access, the game has garnered even more positive reviews. Two Worlds 2. The Two Worlds duology tells of the endless war between the human kingdom and the orcs, with the player being drawn into events that could lead to the destruction of the world. The game boasts a vast open world, excellent combat system unbound by class restrictions, and an original magic system allowing for the creation of custom spells. Side quests, often more interesting than the main storyline, also pique interest. Torchlight 2, an isometric RPG from former Blizzard developers, with unconventional gameplay and interesting mechanics like the pet system. The game successfully blends several genres: action, hack and slash, strategy, and RPG, spicing it all up with steampunk aesthetics. Players have access to several diverse character classes, and the gameplay is heavily influenced by item rarity and crafting. Grim Dawn, a dark RPG set in a world with Victorian-era colors and shades. Here, we take on the role of a hunter of monsters emerging from mysterious portals. The game is an isometric action RPG with world exploration, battles against hordes of monsters, and constant loot cycling. Decent physics and dismemberment add to the already oppressive atmosphere. Automata, an open-world action RPG. The story unfolds in a world ravaged by war with machines, turning the planet into a desert and forcing humanity to flee to the moon. In hopes of reclaiming their home, humanity sends a team of specially trained androids to Earth. It's the squad that will be commanding. The game combines compelling storytelling with 26 endings, a flexible character development system, and dynamic combat. Dark Souls. Often, modern games are very user-friendly. They thoroughly explain the rules, spoon-feed the plot, and hardly pose a challenge. But the fantasy series Dark Souls takes a different path. It forces players to retry difficult areas dozens of times, sending the hero back to a checkpoint time and time again. Additionally, players must independently interpret the storyline, which is presented with sparse hints. Surprisingly, this unusual approach has garnered a whole army of fans. Middle-earth, an action RPG series that incorporated numerous interesting ideas, including some entirely new to the genre. Thanks to the Nemesis system, enemies remember the player and adapt to their attacks, becoming exponentially stronger upon the next encounter. Combat is fast-paced and spectacular, with upgraded abilities unlocking new combat options playing a crucial role. The Outer Worlds. The game, dubbed the new Fallout, unexpectedly turned out to be a completely independent and full-fledged product. It has everything we love about the genre: an interesting setting, consequential dilemmas, extensive exploration opportunities, intricately crafted characters and worlds, and vibrant dialogues that never get boring. All of this is seasoned with solid humor. The writers happily mock all modern trends like consumer society and brand quality inconsistencies. The Witcher. The first Witcher for CD Projekt Red was a warm-up. In the second, they went all out, crafting a huge world, integrating numerous quests and characters, ditching the odd combat mechanics, and adorning it all with state-of-the-art graphics at the time of release. As for the third installment of the franchise, the Poles amplified their prowess and outdid themselves, creating an incredibly beautiful open world with hundreds of quests, charismatic characters, and enviable non-linearity. They delivered one of the best games of the past decade. Disco Elysium. The main gameplay component of this unique RPG consists of textual dialogues. The protagonist is an alcoholic cop investigating a murder in a fictional town. Having lost his memory after a bender, the detective must not only find the killer, but also remember his life. To do this, he'll have to comb through the entire city and find common ground with its inhabitants. The game is a blend of everything real genre fans love. Divinity: Original Sin 2. Larian Studios delivered an outstanding sequel, funded by fans of the original Divinity who contributed to Kickstarter. Upon release, it became the best party-based RPG to date. The game boasts the most spectacular and deep combat among turn-based RPGs. There's a plethora of classes, and characters have a multitude of characteristics that radically change their gameplay. They didn't forget about the social aspect either. In just the prologue alone, there are dozens of hours worth of different playthrough options. Risen 2: Dark Waters. This fantasy role-playing game, from the developers of Gothic, is dedicated to pirates and magic. In the second installment, the world has expanded. Side quests have become more complex in terms of structure and offer more opportunities for decision-making. The arsenal in Risen 2 consists of magical spells, swords, halberds, and axes, as well as firearms such as pistols, ship cannons, and other types. The skill system and leveling, for the most part, have not changed much, except now we can improve each skill separately, increasing damage from attacks and unlocking new combos. Mass Effect. The second installment is practically a perfect sequel. An unexpected twist in the plot leads Shepard and his team into an almost criminal world. Therefore, the mood of the narrative, as well as the graphic style, became much darker than the original. The main motifs encountered by the player along the way are corporations, private armies, government helplessness, and all things dark and depressing. In the third installment, the unique system of plot choices reaches its climax, transmitted directly through the save system from the very first game. All characters come together to conclude the massive adventure that the player has been a part of throughout 3 games. Wasteland. The first game in the series, Not Much and Not Less, served as a prototype for creating Fallout. The second and third installments cannot boast such an achievement, but offer something else, a post-nuclear setting wrapped in modern graphics. These games offer numerous quests, turn-based combat mechanics, plenty of humor, charismatic companions, player decisions influencing the state of the world, and endings. Here, you'll participate in gang skirmishes, make many moral decisions, and witness horrifying plot events. This RPG series with a non-linear dialogue system and careful character development will leave a lasting impression on you. As this video comes to a close, which RPG game from the last 10 years did you enjoy the most? Write it down in the comments. Image Game Channel has been with you. Have a nice day.